Hello, my name is Yuri. I made a video some time ago about how to make a world map with players in Tableau. And Tableau, it's a free software, at least this version, Tableau Public. So you can download it and then you can make fancy visualizations of Excel data. So in Excel you can make pictures of visualization charts and stuff like that. But in Tableau you can make interactive charts and even link to them from your website and stuff like that. So on their website it's kind of small, but you can link to it from your own website and it will be a bit bigger. You can also click show full screen, stuff like that. What I did here is make a super simple visualization. This you can do very simply, very fast if you know what you're doing. And this is all Barcelona players ever, and all Barcelona players from shown on countries. So basically this is a player list of all players ever, but I've also visualized them on a country scale. So for example, how many players from Sweden has Barcelona had? When you hover over Sweden, I can see there have been 3 players from Sweden. And here are their name because I clicked the country. So you can see all their names. Henrik Larsson is not a legend, but nearly a Barcelona legend, a really great player for Barcelona, but definitely a legend in Scotland. And I can click on other countries too. I can also just hover over countries to see, okay, 10 players from Portugal. And you can also pick other colors and stuff like that. So what I need to make such a list of all Barcelona players ever is of course the list itself. And I can get the list on this site, worldfootball.net. I can also get it on other sites. But I think this is super simple. I just copy everything here, copy, and then paste it in an Excel document. Also, if you have a lot of sites, for example, if you have 100 sites and you need the same table from each site, you don't need to manually copy them. You can use some software to copy the data for you. And I use free software called Octopus. So I just tell it to, this is the next button, and I want this table from all of these sites. And then at the end, it combines them all into an Excel file. But for lists like this, it's much simpler because you can just use your mouse and then click copy. After you have clicked copy, you have this fancy list of all players ever in Barcelona. And you also have countries, and you have their position and their year of birth. Now, sometimes you need to play around a bit with the data to make it fit into Tableau, because Tableau is kind of clunky to use at times. So, for example, do I have the right country names? Do I have the do I have the right dates? For example, all dates pretty much need to be formatted the same way. So I can make it work with some dates only being years and some dates being months, days, and years. So basically what I do is just, fix the data so that it works in Tableau. And then I also play around with it in Tableau to see how it looks like in there. Also, I made another category because Tableau does not recognize Scotland as a country, and it also doesn't recognize Wales. It's at the bottom because it's W. Wales as a country either. So for that, I just made a nuts category, and nuts category is another category in Tableau. It's not countries, but it's like country-like subjects on the world map. So this is my data. I save it in a file, and then I just drag the file over on top of the Tableau icon, or just open the Tableau software and then drag the file on top into the software. And when I have dragged it into the software, it will look like this. Oh, I've copied birth, but besides this, these rows is how it looks like in the document, right? You just drag the document inside the software and it will look like this. Okay, and then you just go into new sheet, and now you will see all the headers used for the rows. I have not done anything to the data. Also, sometimes you need to right click on these rows to see what kind of data it is, because sometimes, for example, if player, it was only numbers, then you probably need to make it into numbers, right? Maybe if you want to make work with numbers decimal, numbers whole, or maybe it's a date, right? So for birth, for example, you can make it into a date if Tableau doesn't recognize it automatically as a date. So I just right click here and then select date, and now it will recognize this column as a date. And for country, you do the same thing. You right click and then you go geographical role and select country region for countries. And then remember, I also made a nots category for non-countries, so it was another category, and actually Tableau also recognized that that's not Europe. That's why we made it. So what happens now that I have told Tableau that this column is a country? What happens when I double click it? Done. Now it recognizes most of the countries and places them on a world map, right? Because they are, for example, let's say Spain. It's spelled the same way in the software and in the Excel file. So it's right away recognizes Spain as a country because I've told it that these are countries. There are some countries it wouldn't recognize, for example, if you spell them wrong or if they're not countries in the country category. For England, I just select United Kingdom. And then I just, how do we want to show the data? I probably want to show it like this, right? So this is just all countries. Oh, I select this one. When I select this, I can easier move around with the mouse. Now you see all the countries that you have in the document. You can also hide this one, hide title. But this is not enough for us because we want the player counts to be shown when we hover our mouse over our country. So what we do is just take the player count. Boom, what happens now? Okay, now it wants to show players as text. That's not what we want to do. We want player count. So player count. Now it's showing us the player count from each country when we hover our mouse over the country. I've not done anything to the data. This is just how it is from the get-go. And also, let me just think. You could add more information. Actually, you could, if you want to show more information when you hover your mouse over a country. But this is not possible because now it only shows defenders, I think. But you could do this position and then attribute instead of dimension. And then attribute. And worksheet, tooltip. Now here I can decide what I want to see, right? So I have these options because I added all of this. So I could show position, I could show birth and stuff like that. But because we have a lot of players from one country, we pretty much don't need to show position and birth. It's just something I could. Here I can just delete this text. So now it shows it will write country, it will write player, and then we will show the different countries, however, and player, and show the player count. As you can see, I selected count. Let's preview it. Yeah, looks correct. And then I click there. Boom. As you can see now it works. And also when I click a country, nothing happens because I uncheck this super irritating box. But this is not enough. Right now I can save it, save to Tableau public, and I actually have, yeah, I will not go into that, but I can save it into a website, and then everyone can read, can see it in the world. But this is not enough, right? Because as you remember, I also had such a list of individual players, and this is just a list like you have in an Excel file. You just, for example, if you want country to be shown like in Excel, just drag country there and then birth, player, position, year, birth. And then because there's a lot of players from country, they have kind of combined into one. let's see if yeah. They're all just dimensions, so I've just all selected dimensions for all of them, and then I dragged and dropped them all here. And then for this, I just put some icons into shape. I will talk about that later in another video. So basically that's it, right? You have a world map, you just create a world map, you just drag and drop all the other rows to just show information, because it's dimension, so it just shows you information, doesn't make any tables, any charts, like circle charts or line charts or area charts or stuff like that. It's just a dimension, so just text information, and that's fine. Then you go into this button, that's a new dashboard, and then you can actually combine different things. How do I show horizontal? A double click on something, I can't remember, but either way you can just use your world map and then use your individual players, place them there, and you can fit it to height or fit it to width. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember how I did it precisely, so it looks really good. But you can, yeah, I did it here with size. Actually, I totally forgot about this. Automatic size. Now it's automatically, so whatever it can fit to height, it can fit to width. Sometimes it's good to fit it to width, but now this is not needed. And you can resize it and stuff like that. Also this, remember we made this one with the individual players. We can actually make all data interact with each other in Tableau. For example, this button, it's filters. So when you select a filter, it actually interacts. So when I select a country, it should interact with countries, but this is not needed. What we need to do is filter this table by this. So I think we go to here, and then we use as filter. Okay, so now I'm using this as filter. Sorry, it was a time ago I made this chart, so I can't remember everything, but I'm using this as a filter, right? I just click this, using as filter. And of course, when I upload this, I can also save this when I look at this, so people can see this one online. Yeah, basically it. Now I'm using the countries as a filter. It will see, okay, you have this and this and this country by this and this and this name. So I will show you these three names. And I can click another country, get another name. And what I forgot to tell you was actually a bit more about the map. Right now you have one map, right? And we also selected, went into map, edit locations, and then we wrote United Kingdom besides England. But for Wales and Scotland, we cannot do the same thing, right? So what we do there is create another latitude like this. Oh, we drag another latitude there. So now we have two world maps. But for this world map, probably want, we want Notch country. So right now I wanted to show, I just dragged Notch country into this world map. We have the first one and the second one, and I dragged Notch countries down here. So now it's showing me Notch countries and how many players I have from these two Notch countries. But now I have two world maps, so that's not good either. So I just click, I can just click it or right click it and select dual axis. So now it's combining the maps into one. And actually, you can see it's a bit darker. I don't want that. Now every country is similar darkness. And now you can see I have added Wales and Scotland, right? Because I made another world map and then I combined the two world maps. One is showing knots, the other is showing countries, but you cannot really differentiate between the two because they're all one color. So we can go into all color, and we can also add a bit more. We can add borders, for example. So now I'm adding borders to the map. I can also change the color, actually more colors, and then select the color I want to use for the countries or whatever I want to do. And I can also go into map layers, and then I can also select what, maybe I want a dark map or something like that. Or maybe I don't want to show the base map. So I can select a lot of different options here, how I want it to look like. What else? We pretty much finished the dashboard, right? You can do it pretty fast, but you need to know how it works like, because sometimes there's small problems you can have and then you don't know how to fix them. But if you like to play around with it, it's you can get somewhere with the data. You just need to know how it reacts to stuff, and then need to understand that these are called pills, right? So these are just columns, and they are pills, and you can do a ton of stuff with them. You can drag and drop them anywhere, and they will interact with each other, and then you can make stuff interact with each other about selecting highlights and stuff like that. I think you can also format text. Every text you see here, you can format it. So tooltips, format text, show it in another color, stuff like that. And I think that was it for this video. It's a bit confusing, but I think you will get some information from it. Otherwise, I'll need to remake it again. So yeah, thanks for watching.